Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Now, we've been talking a little bit about coyote calling competitions and how you can increase your success and some of the tips and techniques and tactics that I've used over the years. Now, we're going to get into the weapons. There's the two different kinds of weapons that you're going to use in a competition, and that's mainly the shotgun or the rifle. And then you can choose to go suppressed. Nowadays, I think there's a lot of people doing the suppressed, and I think that is the best way to kill coyotes and kill numbers of coyotes on one property in tight areas, because when you go in and call a spot, a lot of times when you're shooting a 6mm, a 243 Ackley, 22-250, you're waking up the countryside with your gunshot, okay? So typically what happens when you're in a competition setting, when you fire that rifle, not so much with a shotgun, because a shotgun is more of it's a softer boom, and I don't feel like it's as spooky to a coyote, because that shotgun represents more of the waterfowl hunter, the upland bird. It's not the big echoey blast of a rifle shot. But typically when you're hunting suppressed, you're able to slip into an area, call soft, call in a coyote, kill him, move just a little bit further, call in another coyote, kill him, and you're not letting the whole countryside know that you're in there. So I think suppressed hunting is the way to go. I've put in for all my permits already. It takes 8-9 months to get get your tax stamp. I'm all put in, so next year you're going to see me hunting with a suppressor. I've already got one suppressed gun, which is a 22 long rifle. And I will be showing you coyote hunts with that as well, and raccoon hunts. My caliber of choice whenever I was in competition was always the 22-250. There's a saying that's out there: beware the man that shoots one gun, and there's a lot of truth to that. I had a rifle, and I'll do videos on my rifle, my competition gun. I shot it, and I shot it very, very well. I shot it with I hand-loaded every load with a Hornady 52 grain boat tail hollow point match bullet, shooting max velocity about 3,680 feet per second. I always sighted my rifle in 1 3/4 high at 100. So I was dead on. Anything out to 320, 340, I just held dead on, and I'd kill those coyotes, especially when I was in the western United States. Just an absolute tack driver, and it was a great bullet for the windy conditions. Just a all-around coyote killing bullet. So that's the part of the rifle. In competition arena, there's guys that are shooting 6mm, 243s. Those are great guns. They pack a wallop to a coyote. I'm not much on every day shooting a 223. I like my 250. I was brought up shooting it. That's what I want to shoot. So stand back and let me kill some coyotes, and I'll show you how it's done. Now finally, we're gonna dive into the hand call versus the e-call. It's anymore. Back in the day when I was using hand calls and really into competition calling, there really wasn't e-calls that could even hold a candle to a hand call. Nowadays, there's e-calls that are so loud, there's no way I can produce a sound that loud. And some days you need that sound. You've got to get it out there. And the other pro for an e-call is most of the sounds that have ever been recorded, they're an actual animal. So I can't compete with that. I'm trying to imitate an animal in distress with my hand call, but an e-call has an actual animal that's in distress. So you got a jackrabbit that's screaming bloody murder, and it's an actual jackrabbit. I'm going wah, 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 and it's just an imitation. you know? So I can go up against e-calls, and I'm sure I could beat guys with e-calls, hands down. I could beat a lot of guys with e-calls. But there's some teams that are so in tune with using their e-call, they know they have a series of sounds that they're using. I can't compete with that. They're playing pup distress, and they're playing jackrabbit distress, and cottontail distress, and woodpecker distress, and they're switching up to so many things. Now, what I can do is coyote in distress, a coyote. I can do that as good or better than anything out there, and I've called in a ton of coyotes with coyote in distress. But when it comes to competition setting, I like my hand call because I don't call real frequently. I don't just call for 15 minutes straight, and that's the stand. I call, I sit there and wait for 2 minutes. I call again, I wait for 2 minutes. I call again, I wait for 3 minutes. I call again, I wait for 3.5 minutes. That's my setup. I like to be patient and sit there and let that animal show itself moving out there, coming in. I want to make that animal come hunt me down. So those are some of the things on a competition setting, on what I do. That's how I've set up. That's the things I look for. I hope you enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button, and right beside it there's a little bell. Hit that bell, and that will notify you every time I come out with a video. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope I wasn't too windy. I hope you learned something. Please share it with your friends, so that way you can try to dissect everything that I did in my competition years, and hopefully it can help all of you. Thanks so much.